Hey everybody, Mr. Carr here. Today we're going to be talking about 9.5. We're going to talk about equations of circles. Okay, so we're going to be able to graph and look at circles on a coordinate grid. Everything is based on this one formula. The standard equation of a circle with a center at the point, I'm going to call it H and K, is going to be and a radius R is going to look like this. X minus H squared plus Y minus K squared is equal to R squared. You may think that this looks a little like Pythagorean theorem, and you would be correct. That's what this formula is coming from. If you want to research that on your own, you can see why we get that based on Pythagorean theorem, but that's what it is related to. All right, so what we need to do is we are going to look at this circle. Two things you need to do. You need to identify the center and identify the radius. So my center here is easy, it's 0, 0. So if I want to, I can write x minus 0 squared plus y minus 0 squared, okay? But you don't have to. You could actually just leave it as this. Whoops. X squared plus y squared. Either way is fine. From there, I want to find the radius. Well, the easiest way to do this is just draw it straight to the point there. This one's nice because I could just go straight to the right or straight up or down or left. Counting out, I get 2. So that means in my equation, it's going to be radius squared, which is 2 squared. And you can leave it as 2 squared or multiply it out as 4. That's it for that spot. Okay. When I look at this one, this makes it a little bit harder, but I'm still going to do some of the same things. In this scenario, I'm given the center. So that's already known. I'm going to go ahead and move on to the radius itself. To find the radius, we want to first use Pythagorean theorem or distance formula. It's up to you. But Pythagorean theorem would look like this. It creates a right triangle there. So between those 2 points, I'm going 2 to the left and 2 up. So then that's my radius R. So I do Pythagorean theorem. I'm going to say 2 squared plus 2 squared is equal to R squared. And then that's 4 plus 4 equals R squared. And then that is going to give me 8 equals R squared. Now, if I want the actual value of the radius, I can go ahead and take the square root. Well, if you remember from before, and I break that down, this is going to turn into 2 root 2. Okay? But I want the equation for the circle. So I'm actually going to leave this R squared as 8. Okay? It's going to be helpful for my equation because now when I do my second step of writing the actual standard equation here, again, I'm going to go with H and K, that's my center, -1 and 2. So I'm going to say x minus a -1 squared plus y minus 2 squared is equal to R squared. I don't need to put this there. I could just go right to 8. Okay, this gets a little bit ugly here. We don't like subtracting by a negative. So remember when you subtract by a negative, it really turns into this. X plus 1 squared, and then y minus 2 squared equals 8. Okay, so remember, this is, again, the value of R squared. So if you really wanted to, you could have done this. You could have put 2 root 2 squared like this. But why do that if I solve for R squared already? Okay, so I'm just going to use that value of 8 in there. The last thing we're going to do is we're going to interpret the equation and graph it out. First things first, x minus 2 and y plus 3. That's going to help me find my center. Now, remember, the actual equation is x minus h squared, y minus k squared. So technically speaking, my h and k values are 2 and -3. The easiest way to think of it is it's just the opposite values. The center is going to go opposite of those two. Okay, so my center, I'm going to plot that point now. So I'm going to go to +2, so 2, then 1, 2, 3 right here. Here's my center. This 16 is my R squared. So R squared is equal to 16. I need the radius here for the rest of the graph. So I'm going to square root both sides, and I get 4. That means from my center, I can count 4 in any direction to create the radius and help draw the actual circle out. I'm going to go 4 directions. So I'm going to go from the center and go 2, 4 right here, 2, 4 right here. And again, I'm counting by 2s because my scale is in 2s. And then I'm going to go 2, 4 right here, and then 2, 4 down here. There's my circle. Almost perfect. Oh, well. Okay, so that's how we graph it. And again, we're going opposite these two values, gives me my center. So that's a -2 turns into a positive, and then +3 turns into a negative. The 16, I take the square root of that to get the actual radius, and I plot those 4 points to make my circle. All right. So that is it for this. You're going to do these on your own, try it out, either writing the equation or graphing it, or there's graphing it. Okay. And that's basically it there. All right. Feel free to reach out if you have any questions. Otherwise, that's it for today. Take care, everybody. Have a good one.